Hello everyone. In today's video we will be reviewing what we saw in the last video. So basically how to find the area of certain shapes. Now we are going to be solving some problems together given what we learned yesterday. So let's get started. Problem number 1 says, what is the area of the three rectangles above altogether? Okay, so there are two ways of going about this. One is the long and hard way, and the other is the really fast and easy way. The long and hard way would be to find the area of each of these triangles separately and then add them all together. The very quick and easy way is to realize that, oh, this is one huge rectangle, and if I put these sides together, I know how big this side is. And if I put these two together, I know how big this side is. And I can find its area simply by multiplying this side by this side. And that's how we're going to solve it now instead of finding each separate rectangle altogether. So this side is 5 and 3, which makes it 8 centimeters. And this side is 10 and 4, which makes it 14 centimeters. And then we can do 8 times 14 to find the final answer. And 8 times 14 would give us 112 what? Wait, 112? Yeah. 112 what? 112 square centimeters. Because remember, we said that when multiplying centimeters with centimeters, we're going to get square centimeters. Next up, a square has a perimeter of 36 meters. What is its area? Now, if you remember what we said yesterday, we said that to find the perimeter of a square, I would have to take one of its sides, so let's call the side A, and multiply it by 4. And what this is telling us is that given its side, what we would find for its perimeter would be 36. Now, what does its side have to be in order for the perimeter to be 36? So, what times 4 gives me 36? Well, the answer is 9 times 4 gives me 36. So, each of its sides is 9. Now, if each of its sides is 9, to find its area, I would have to multiply two sides together. So, that would be 9 times 9. I would get is 81. So the answer here is that this square would have an area of 81 square meters because each of these is meters. Let's erase this and this. Next up, we have that the perimeter of a rectangle is 72 decimeters. If one side is 15 decimeters, what is the area of the rectangle? Okay, so what we are being told right here is that if we add together all of the sides of the rectangle, we are going to get 72 decimeters. And one of the sides is 15. But if one of the sides is 15, I don't know if it's the long side or the short side. It doesn't matter really. All that I know is that if one side is 15, then another side is also 15, which means that together those two sides are going to be 30. So if I take 30 and I add two of the other sides, let's call the other side A, and that will give me 72, right? Well, how much does this have to be? Basically, what do I have to add to 30 to make 72? The answer to that would be 42. I have to add 42 to 30 to get 72. So basically what we're saying is that the sum of the other two sides needs to be 42. So what does A have to be in order for it to make 42 if we multiply it by 2? The answer to that is 21. So each of the sides is 21. Each of the big sides, well, apparently these are the big sides. Since since the shorter ones are 15, that would make these sides 21. Okay, and it wants to know the area of the rectangle. Now to find the area of the rectangle, we should remember that we need to multiply one short side with one big side. So we need to do 15 times 21. So let's do 15 times 21 vertically. 15 times 21. How much is this? That would be 315. So our answer should be that the area is 315 square decimeters. There we go. Okay, so that's problems 1, 2, and 3. Next up, we have problem number 4. And problem number 4 asks, what is the area of the trapezoid shown above? Okay, so here we have a trapezoid, and we haven't talked about how to find the area of a trapezoid before. But what you have to realize is that, oh, a trapezoid is basically a rectangle with two triangles at its edges. So if I can find the area of the rectangle and then the other two triangles, then I can find the whole area. Okay, so here I don't have exactly the rectangle being shown here. It's showing me this part. I don't have this triangle separately. It's showing me this whole thing. But what I want is this triangle to be shown separately, like it is on the other side, where we know that this side is 4 millimeters, and this side, sorry about that, there was a mistake I just noticed just now, that the 5 millimeters, this side should have been showing, but for some reason it got hidden. Sorry about that. So this side we know is 5 millimeters, right here. Distance between this side and this side. And we also know, as we were saying before, that this part right here is 4 millimeters, right? It's telling us. And we also know that this whole thing is 12 millimeters. Okay, but that's not very useful because this does not make a rectangle. This is not a rectangle. I can't find the perimeter of this shape as it is. What I would like is to know the length of this side right here, this bottom side right here. So if I were to take, let's say, if I were to take a line right down to the bottom here and create a perpendicular line, create a right angle right here, I would want to know the length of this side is. Well, if you think about it, since these lines are perpendicular to these lines, that means that this side and this side have to be the same. Why? Because they are part of a rectangle. Right now, as it is, you can see that I have created a rectangle. Right here. And since I've created a rectangle, this side right here, this side right here needs to be the same as the top side. So it needs to be 8 millimeters. Okay, but if we know that this side is 8 millimeters and this whole thing is 12, well, how much will this little blue part be? And the answer to that is that it's going to be 4. Because together with this, it needs to be 12. So you need to think, okay, well, how much do I have to add to 8 to make it 12? The answer is 4. I need to add 4 to 12 to 8 to make it 12. So now we know that this blue part is 4 millimeters. This thing here is 8 millimeters. This side is 5 millimeters. And of course, because it's a rectangle, this side is also going to be 5 millimeters. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the area of the rectangle. We're going to find the area of the right triangle here. And then we're going to find the area of this right triangle, which basically they're going to be the same since they have the same sides. They're going to be the same. So I don't need to calculate it twice. And then I'm going to add all of those together. So let's start with the rectangle, which is easiest. I'm going to do 8 times 5. Well, I don't even need to write that vertically. I know that the area of 8 times, I know that the product of 5 is 40. So this entire blue thing in here is going to be 40 square millimeters. Okay, great. Now let's put this together with now let's find the area of one of the right triangles. So wait, no, that wasn't supposed to happen. Well, let's just color it in. So there we go. I want that area, the red, okay? And we know that this side is 5 and that this side is 4. So how do we find the area of a right triangle? If you remember from yesterday, we said that we multiply the two smallest sides between themselves. So 4 times 5, 4 times 5, and then whatever we find, we divide it by 2. Whatever we find, we divide it by 2. So 4 times 5 is 20, and divided by 2 would give me 10. So the area of one right triangle is 10 square millimeters. And the area of the other right triangle, because they have the exact same proportions, is going to be the same. So another 10 square millimeters. And altogether, if I add all of these together, I'm going to get is 60 square millimeters. So that should be my answer. 60 square millimeters. And there we go. That's the end of the exercise for today. I will see you guys again on Friday when we correct your exercises together. Have a good day. Bye.